almost 20 years ago, in fact, in March of 2000, I started Tycomics. And when I did, we actually opened 2 offices at the same time. We opened an office in Milwaukee and in Rockford, Illinois. And we did it in the same month, which is kind of crazy. So from the very beginning, we had this mindset of how do we build a company where people can work wherever they want. And so the idea of this quick little video here is to talk to you about what we've learned over almost 20 years of managing a remote workforce. Today, our workforce is made up of about 70% of our people are not in an office together. They're operating out of about 30 states. So the ability for us to work remotely all over the place and communicate in different time zones is critical to our success. And I think we've identified over the course of time kind of 5 things that I think are key to having a successful, engaged, remote workforce. So the first thing is really kind of what I'll call management 101, but it doesn't happen all the time, and that's just start meetings on time and end them on time. You know, when you're in a room, it's a little bit easier for people to kind of come and go and because you have some interaction, but when you're on a phone call or you're on a video chat and you're there alone and somebody doesn't show up for 2 or 3 minutes, you can't easily see if they're going to come. You can't pop your head out the door and see are they on their way in. So, you know, rule number 1, start and end meetings on time. Rule number 2, use video. You know, we ask people to use their webcam in all of their meetings. We ask them to do that for every internal meeting and most customer meetings. Of course, in a group of a lot of people, some people are more comfortable with that and some people aren't as comfortable. But we really encourage that because the reality is that the more dynamics or more kind of parts of a person that we can interact with, the more likely we are to connect. So when you're only hearing voice, you can easily disconnect than if you were actually seeing somebody nod their head, smile, laugh, whatever it might be. So use video. Third thing, and this one's a little bit different, is that when you're using technology and you're spread out all over the country, you're going to have issues. Meaning somebody's not going to get in the meeting right the first time. They're going to have a problem because their dog is barking in the background. They're going to accidentally talk and their line's muted. They're going to have, someone's going to be trying to take a call in a coffee shop. Here's the lesson. You need to understand that this is just going to happen. However, it can't happen all the time. So it's okay for it to happen once in a while, but if a certain person, every time they take a meeting, is sitting at Starbucks and there's tons of noise in the background, you need to talk to them about that and say, hey, this isn't helping us build our team dynamics. So that third point, very simply, is just understand that there will be issues, but don't tolerate the same issues from the same people over and over again. Just work with them to help them get better. The fourth point is to make sure that you're using collaboration tools. So for us, we use a product called Microsoft Teams, but there's other products out there like Slack. And I will tell you that through the use of these tools, I really think we're more engaged than many companies have in terms of employee engagement with people sitting right next to each other. We actually have a water cooler is one of our things, and people post all kinds of goofy things on there. We have announcements. We have a spot that's Ring the Bell that says, hey, just tell us about something good that happened with a customer or a person or whatever it might be. And we have all these different teams and all these different channels that you can post information to. We have channels so you can ask for help if you're stuck on something. We have a channel where we say, hey, we're going to go out as a group for people in the same city on Friday night, and people respond to that. My point is create opportunities for people to come together electronically, digitally, kind of in the non-physical world, the virtual world. And when you do that, you will be surprised at how much people do come together. You'll also be surprised how much that feels like the person sitting right next to you. And finally, this one is one that we've been pretty good about enforcing over the years, and that is this rule. If one person is remote, all people are remote. So let me explain. If you're listening to this video, you have inevitably been on a call at some point in your career where there's a conference room full of people and you're the only person that's remote. And because you're the only person that's remote, you feel like you're an outsider to that meeting. So people will talk, and then you'll be trying to talk and you don't get attention. They'll say a joke that you don't really understand because you're not in the room, or they'll say something you don't hear. So what happens is you become the outsider and you are naturally disconnected. So think about it, if you were that remote person and that happened all the time, you would not be connected to your team. And over time you'd say, geez, I want to work someplace where I'm connected. So what we say, quite simply, is if one's remote, all's remote. So it's often that we'll have a meeting, and in Rockford, our main office, we might have 5 people on the line, and one person's remote. So you would think that we'd get together in a conference room and call that one person, but we don't do that. Instead, we all sit at our desk and we all dial in remotely. So what that does is it puts everybody at an equal playing field. So it doesn't make the local person more important or easier to speak or anything of that nature. It doesn't make the remote person feel like they're an outsider. And by doing that, you start building a culture that says it's okay to be remote. Everybody's remote. In fact, there's somebody in the office next to me, and I'm on a call with them talking to somebody who's across the country, and we're treating it as all three of us are in different locations and we're equal. So there you have it. Just 5 simple things that we talked about. First thing is just simply start and end meetings on time, really basic. Second thing is use video. Third thing is understand that there will be technology and people issues, but don't tolerate them forever. Third thing is invest and teach and encourage the use of collaboration tools. And then finally, a simple rule. If one's remote, everyone's remote. That's it for today. Hope you guys have a great day and appreciate you tuning in to our leadership blog here. Bye-bye.